Good evening from Los Angeles. I'm Tavis Smiley. Tonight, a tribute to B.B. King, the legendary blues musician who passed away this week at the age of 89. We were honored to have him on this program last in 2013 to talk about his remarkable life and career. We're glad you've joined us. A tribute to the King of the Blues, B.B. King, coming up right now. B.B. King was born into a family of sharecroppers in the Mississippi Delta back in 1925. He was working in the fields at 7 and found solace in music and in the church. In the middle of the Great Depression, King hitchhiked to Memphis with less than $3 in his pocket. He honed his guitar style on the streets of that city. His first break on the radio had him performing as Beale Street Blues Boy, which was later shortened to Blues Boy King. Let's take a look at a clip of B.B. King performing with his guitar, Lucille.
It ain't nobody worrying and it ain't nobody crying. Every day, every day, every day, every day I have the blues. Every day, every day, every day I have the blues. Well, done trouble, you know, after you I hate to lose.
The King of the Blues is in the house tonight, Riley B. King. Can I just tell you, I've been looking forward to this I've been in the broadcast business now for just my 21st year, and we've talked on radio, but never one-on-one on television.
Never.
We've hung out all over the world, in Germany, and Europe, all throughout Europe. I've been with you on tour, and we've been all over the country, but never one-on-one on a TV set, so I am delighted.
I was missing it.
Glad you're finally here. It ain't like you ain't been doing nothing. You're hard to catch up with.
Yeah.
You'll be 88 later this year.
Yeah, you said it. My birthday is right behind yours.
Yeah, I'm on 13th, and you're the
16th.
You're the 16th. How you feeling? You looking well?
Tavis, I think I've taken about much of this as I could taste.
You look good, though.
Oh, God, he went at it again.
Yeah, I went at it again. I just like to mess with you. I want to start our conversation tonight, and I'm glad I got 2 nights with you, tonight and tomorrow night. I want to start our conversation talking about some things that people might not know about you.
Okay.
We know so much about your music, and I'll get to the music, because that's the fun part, but some things that I find fascinating that help make you who you are, that your fans and others might not know, in no particular order. You saw a lynching many years ago that impacted you and changed your life in profound ways in the Mississippi Delta. Tell me about the lynching that you saw.
Well, I didn't actually see him being lynched, but I saw him being dragged up the streets over to the courthouse. I was in a little town called Lexington, Mississippi. And I think it scared me more than anything else, because I was maybe a few years older than he was. So he was a boy, and I was scared after seeing them dragging him up the streets.
How does that impact a child, a black child, growing up in that part of the world at that time?
Well, as I said, it scared me for one thing.
Right.
Secondly, I thought that just as it had happened to that guy, it could happen to me. Because I've always liked ladies all my life. I guess it started with my mom. So every time I saw a pretty lady, I thought, she's pretty, like I said. And that's what had happened to this boy.
Yeah.
He was sort of like Emmett Till, and what the other one is, another one had the same thing happen.
Yeah. So yeah, Emmett Till, for those who don't know the story, I think most people do, was accused of whistling at a white woman, and that was his crime, and he was.
They killed him.
They killed him for that.
Took him out in Blue Lake. Did you know we had a Mississippi lake called Blue Lake?
I did know that.
You did know
Yeah,
that.
I did know that.
I forget though. You're
from Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah, like you. So I know a little bit about that. Not as much as you, but a little bit about that history.
I was just a cotton picker.
Yeah. Since you mentioned your mother and that you have always loved the ladies, I know that to be the case. Started with your mama. Tell me about your mama.
My mother was a very beautiful lady, I thought. And she was very good to me. And I guess she died when I was 9.5. But if she had lived, I probably wouldn't be trying to play guitar. She wanted me to be known. But that's something else, not a guitar player.
Yeah. Known for what?
Anything that's just somebody that
Doctor,
would make
lawyer, politician,
make the
something
world
like that. Make the world better.
Make the world better.
Yeah, but you've done that with your guitar. You brought a lot of love to a whole lot of people.
You give me so many compliments, I'm gonna jump and start hollering.
No, I'm just telling the truth, man. You've given love to me and a whole bunch of other folk for many, many years.
I'm happy.
Your mother dies and you're 9.5. So where do you go at 9.5? Who raised you?
Well, I had quite a few relatives. I had one close relative, my uncle,
Right.
my mother's brother. So I stayed with him a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, my mother and my dad was divorced, or in a country like Mississippi, where they was not together.
Right.
They used to call it separated. And so I guess that has happened to me.
Yeah.
I got the seed.
Yeah. I want to ask you about the first time you saw a guitar being played in a black church. I'll come to that in just a second. But while we're talking about this, you mentioned a moment ago how different your life might be had your mother lived, that you might not have ever played guitar because you loved your mama like most black men. You wanted to make your mama proud.
I did.
And if mama don't want you to play guitar, you might have done something else.
No, wouldn't have done I wouldn't have played
You
guitar.
wouldn't play guitar, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You might have done something else had your mother lived.
Sure.
So the question is, how different do you think your life would be if you hadn't grown up in Mississippi?
She wouldn't have had grandchildren early.
You in rare form tonight. You are in rare form, all because you grew up in Mississippi. I see with them pretty girls running around.
Oh, they have a lot of beautiful ones there.
I know they do, then and now. Let me go.
Are you married?
Not yet. I'm not yet. I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you.
Okay.
All right. Let me go from pretty girls to the church, which is an interesting segue, although there are a lot of pretty girls in the church.
That's one thing I can think of. She really wanted me. I used to sing in a quartet, and she liked that. And she also...
Were you singing gospel or other
Gospel,
stuff?
gospel.
I know, that's why she liked it, yeah. Gospel quartet.
Yeah.
So you were singing gospel quartet years ago. Your mama liked that. The first time I'm told that you saw a guitar being played was in the
preacher.
church.
The pastor in church.
Tell me about it.
Reverend Archie Fair. I wanted to be like him. He was we belonged to what we call the sanctified faith.
Same
And
for
he
me.
was a preacher.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be just like him. And people used to tell me when I was younger that I played a lot like him and was ugly like him.
No, they didn't say that. They didn't say that.
Yes, they did.
No.
I tried my best to make myself look a little better. Didn't work.
Did you? So you first see a guitar being played in church, but did you first start playing in church?
Not really.
I didn't
At
think
my
so.
uncle's house.
At your uncle's house. Yeah.
My uncle, he was like a young baby when he was around my mother. And he was the oldest.
Right.
But if she said something and a tear fall over here, he'd do exactly what she said.
Oh yeah.
And I was a little different. She had to get my dad a razor strap.
To get you to do anything.
Little tear.
Yeah. So you started playing at your uncle's. When did you get your first guitar?
I started living with a family called the Cottage family.
Uh-huh.
And I had seen a guy, a white person, that had a guitar, and he wanted to sell it. And I offered all kind of habits of chores or whatever, if they would get me one. So he wanted $5 for it, so.
So you did chores to get it?
Yes.
You wanted that guitar bad?
Really bad.
Yeah.
Because my uncle used to call me lazy.
Yeah. Your uncle called you lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's dead, so he can't hear you.
Yeah.
Now I don't think.
But when you got that guitar though, you went to work. So you are famously, as we know, self-taught.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
But I finally learned that they was having little shows of night dances or whatever you call them at little juke joints.
Right.
Not far from where I lived, and I used to go there.
Right.
And they wouldn't let me play inside, but I could sit outside when it was on the weekends when it wasn't raining or something.
So you listened to what was going on inside?
Yes.
And you started picking stuff up?
Jukebox, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. So when did the Memphis move come in? When did you make your way up to Memphis?
Much later than that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't remember the exact, but it was in the early 50s.
Right. But you went to Memphis. Why specifically?
They had better places you could play, and
Right.
they'd let people in my age.
Right.
And sometimes the proprietors of the little juke joints gave me a couple of dollars.
Right.
And I loved that. I'd go back next Saturday.
Yeah. So how, in your own words, then, even though you're from Mississippi, how does Memphis play into the success of B.B. King? How does that fit in?
Plays in all of it. I've ran into a guy called Rufus Thomas.
Oh Lord, yes.
You heard of him?
Stax Records, Rufus Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Rufus Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what had happened, I would go to what they call the amateur show.
Right.
And Rufus Thomas was the MC.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd hear my crying and whine and everything trying to get on.
Uh-huh.
So he would let me on, even though I maybe was on last week.
Uh-huh.
But he looked at me, and I guess I looked so pitiful, he said, "Bill, you was just on last week." I said, "Yeah, but I ain't got no money."
Yeah.
See, if you went on, you got $1.
Right.
And if you won, you got $5.
Right.
I never did get to $5.
So what do you make of that? What did you make of the fact that those other guys who won the $5 may have been pretty good, but years later you end up being the king of the blues?
Well, I've never said that.
I know, but I said it. I said it. I said it, and everybody who knows how good you are said, you are the king of the blues.
All right.
But you never won the $5 night?
Never did. Never did.
You still mad about that?
No, I ain't.
You finally
angry.
got over it?
I talked about it when I got popular. Yeah, I call him some dirty names.
Yeah.
He was one of my best friends.
When did you know, I'm not talking about what other people said, when did you know that you were really, really good at this guitar?
A record company from L.A.
Right.
started to record me. And you know what they paid me per side?
What?
2 cents.
Come on.
I'm not lying to you.
2 cents?
2 cents per side a record, you know.
So you got 4 cents per record?
Yeah.
Come on, B.B. King.
Very glad to get it.
4 cents?
Yes. And before, well, I don't do much recording anymore, but before I really stopped, I was glad to get 5 cents a record. That's why when I see people today and they complain about what they get, and I pick cotton for $2.50 a day.
Mm-hmm.
But my cousin and I could pick 1,000 pounds a day. So like that, we could stay and rest in the bed until everybody else was gone to the fields, and then he would say, you better come on out here, because if we didn't go to fields with the other people, we get balled at, you know. But if we went later than the rest of the family and picked, I was averaging about 400 pounds a day, and my cousin played, he picked more.
But see, something is, as I listen to you tell this story, something is wrong about you making more money picking cotton than playing your guitar.
Then, yeah.
Something's wrong with that, though. that don't sound right, B.B. King.
Yeah, all right.
That's I know the facts are right. I'm just saying it just ain't fair. It ain't right that you make more for picking cotton than playing your guitar.
Not later.
Yeah, I know.
That was the beginning. The beginning, I thought it was good, though.
Yeah. What? Playing the guitar or picking cotton?
Picking cotton.
Oh, yeah. And then you start picking your guitar.
Yeah.
How did, and I know there's no simple answer to this, but if you really want to get a real appreciation of B.B. King, you talk to Buddy Guy. I've been so fortunate over the years to spend a lot of time with him. And every time I talk to Buddy Guy, I'm trying to talk about Buddy Guy.
And he'd bring up
all he wants to talk about is B.B. King. It happens every time. Every time I talk to Buddy Guy, all he wants to talk about is B.B. King. And he talks about the fact that he learned so much from the licks that you play. How did you establish that signature B.B. King sound?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
You don't? Yeah.
No, I don't know, but it just seemed to me that the way I played was nice.
Yeah.
I could hear myself. And I don't know, I always thought that Buddy Guy was really good, still is.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of other young players around at that time when I was coming, but there was older people like Blind Lemon, which was one of my favorites. And I don't know, it just seemed like everybody I heard could play better than me, and I was there with my, you ever see, I don't mean to give them a plug, but RCA, they had a trademark that was on the record players. And it was a little dog listening to the records as they play. And the signal was that the records were so good, so clear, that the dog could understand who it was. And that was me.
that was you listening all the time.
Yeah. No,
See, I think you're too modest, and Buddy Guy says about you all the time that you're too modest. You created a signature sound that everybody then and now wants to emulate, and you don't even know how you did it.
No, I don't.
Well, we ain't gonna mess with it then. It works, and if you don't want to mess with it, I ain't gonna mess with it.
No, that sounds good to me, because that's the way my preacher played in church.
Right.
Not exactly like I am, like I was, because naturally I didn't play blues in church, but I felt like it.
Yeah. Did you ever have, there's so many players, and again, you didn't start playing in the church, but your mother loved you singing quartet. There were so many players in the black community that come out of the church.
Yes.
Did you ever have any point in your life where you were wrestling with whether you wanted to play in the church, whether you wanted to play the blues?
I had to play in the church when I started trying to play, because that was the only way I could play.
Right.
You don't know my mother, boy. She was kind of...
She didn't play, though.
Oh, she was with a strap or something? Oh, she could beat you nicely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
beat
that.
you nicely. That sounds oxymoronic, but I take it. She can beat you nicely.
What that means.
You can't beat nobody nicely, but I take your point. I know what you're trying to say. I get it.
Yeah,
that's all about the blues. If you listen, you know what they're trying to say. You know what the blues are saying. So I talked about the lynching that you saw and how that impacted you as a kid. Talk to me about the time the stint you had in the Army. You spent some time in the Army.
Just a short time.
Just a short time, yeah. But tell me how what you did and how that impacted your life being in the Army.
Well, well, first let me tell you a little story.
Please.
When we went into World War II, I was a tractor driver then. I drove tractors on the plantation. And so when they start calling people my age, 18 up, I was one they call. And I went to Camp Shelby. Camp Shelby is right outside of, not far from Jackson, Mississippi. And I already knew how to drive tractor. I was pretty good with that. So they would give me a job driving tractor, which was like I wasn't in nothing special because I've been doing that all the time.
Right.
And I kind of liked that, but they reclassified us. I said us because there's several of us, about 80 of us that went in at the same time. And scared me about half to death on the bus. Because we was on the Greyhound buses going to, I'm giving somebody else a plug, going to Camp Shelby, it was called. And 2 or 3 of the guys wasn't from Mississippi that went down with them. They were picking with the girls, white girls, on the side of the road picking cotton.
Uh-oh.
I went in the back of the bus.
Yeah.
In the back. If I had been riding bus for pay, I still would have to sit in the back.
Yeah.
But I got through it pretty good because I had a lot of older friends around me that had taught me about working for white people.
So when you got in the Army, you knew how to behave, in other words.
Yes, sir.
And you got in and you got out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, no problem.
I suspect we'll get to talk more about this tomorrow night, but let me just put this question out now. There's a movie that I love. I see it all the time. It's always on cable, called Cadillac Records. And it talks, of course, about all the artists and how they got ripped off so bad back in the day.
Yeah, I've seen that. In fact, I have it.
Yeah. What's your worst horror story about getting ripped off over the years as an artist?
I don't think I knew about getting ripped off at the time, because, hey, I'm recording. I don't care how much money it was, but I was recording, and I thought being a recording artist, girls.
Yeah. If I'm recording, I'm getting the girls, and the money would take care of itself.
Yeah.
But at some point, though, you came to understand, though, that you can't survive without money.
I did finally understand a little bit, and some of the guys that had ripped me off was helping me out.
Wait, explain that. They were ripping you off and helping you out?
After I had left them.
Right.
They was showing me that playing pretty good then, and I should come back to them, because they would give me a dime, maybe even a quarter. And I then went to one of the larger companies.
Right.
And here I am.
Yeah.
I can work for you now and
get out of here, please. I can come work for you. I will come carry Lucille on and off the bus, on and off the stage anytime you want me.
I got some guys around here who wouldn't like that. So
yeah. Tomorrow night, part 2 of our tribute to B.B. King as we celebrate his life and legacy. That's our show for tonight. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep the faith.
For more information on today's show, visit Tavis Smiley at pbs.org.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley. Join me next time for night 2 of our tribute to legendary blues guitarist, the king of the blues, B.B. King. That's next time. We'll see you then.